Off to a 2-0 start in the divisional round against the Cleveland Guardians. It is time to finish the series today, whether that be in one game or if it takes all three. That's what we'll be doing in this episode. Now, with Madden being just 2 weeks around the corner and this really being the only series close to potentially being finished, I do plan on mainly focusing on this franchise between now and the release of Madden 24 in an effort to finish it. So if you're, really big fans of either of the other franchises we're going through right now on the channel, just expect a lot more of this franchise until this playoff run is over. That could be as soon as this episode, or it could end with a World Series run. Hoping, of course, to win the World Series this year so we can end off on a high note with this series, because either way, this is the last season we have time for in this series. So with that being said, let's go ahead and finish off this divisional round. ALDS baseball here. Went 2-0 with our 2 games at home. Now it's time to go to Cleveland. And since these are elimination games, we'll be playing the whole game rather than what we were doing last episode where we pitched one game and then hit the other. This time, we're doing both. We're playing the full games. Let's hop into it. Today, we'll be facing off against Corbin Burns. Quite a talented pitcher here thus far in the postseason. 2.45 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. Got a lot of break on his balls here, and we're going to see that in this episode as Bobby Witt wastes no time swinging at that first pitch, trying to get this action started early. Later on here in the first, Vladimir Guerrero hitting .571 so far in the postseason, but that's probably his worst at-bat here of the postseason. And for us, we'll be starting Freddie Peralta in this game, trying to close out the series. He's going to start the game, forcing Quan into a grounder. Next up, Guardians will go down swinging. First strikeout on our side here of the day. Did a nice job keeping that pitch high. Jose Ramirez still hit this one quite well, but won't have the carry to leave the park. And so a 1-2-3 inning on both sides here. Another guy hitting over 500 to start this playoff run is Boyce McDermott, and he's going to continue that success here to lead off the second. Corbin Burns fearing for his safety a little bit there. If you're wondering why there's no face cam for this episode, it's because I was sick when I recorded this episode and you did not want to see my face nor hear my voice. That's also why there was no episode at all on the channel yesterday. But getting back to the gameplay here, wild pitch gets Boyce McDermott to second. Then Alex Angeles gets hit. He's been having a pretty rough playoff stretch. He gets on base with a hit by pitch, but it will be for naught as we'll ground into a double play out of the inning. Strikeouts here in the second for Peralta are the theme as he mows through another inning here of these Cleveland Guardians. Back up to hit. Gleyber Torres just the victim of an absolute Corbin Burns dot there for the strikeout. Bringing up Bobby Witt, really trying to get some offense going here, and we're going to do exactly that. Deep to left field, Bobby Witt hit that ball a ton. His first postseason home run goes well over 400 feet with 110 exit velocity. He crushed that ball, breaking the tie here in this game, and hopefully this can jumpstart our offense as we haven't started super hot here, but you gotta love him scoring that ball up, no doubt about it. As soon as it left the bat, you knew that one was going yard here. Beautiful baseball from our leadoff hitter and shortstop. Ian Happ's gonna get hit. That's already 2 hit by pitches here. We're just in the 3rd inning here. Vladimir Guerrero going to keep the inning alive here with a single. So we've got a man in scoring position, 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Boyce McDermott. Not going to be able to get more than just the 1 run here in the third. But Bobby Witt does break the tie, giving Peralta just a little bit of wiggle room and perhaps the first run towards securing the series victory here against the Guardians. Kurt Cox here, he'll draw himself a walk, bringing up Garrett Mitchell. Torres throws to second, maybe looking for the double play ball, but that first part took long enough that the throw won't even be made, so we'll have to settle for the 1 out here. Chase DeLauder, that's a bit of a miss over the middle of the plate, and we will pay for it. Boyce McDermott makes the throw inside. A lot of speed there on third. Thought they might test it, but they'll decide not to here, and so runners on the corners. Need a strikeout or a pop out here from Stephen Kwan, and we're going to get neither. He hit this one a ton. The curveball not working for Freddie Peralta here, and that's going to tie this game back up. Nearly left the park. Would have been a 3-run homer. So I'll gladly take just the tag up instead, so I get strikeout swinging once again. And that'll be how Freddie Peralta will end that inning. Franmil Reyes, 2 outs here, top of the 4th. Not much going for us to start the inning, but Franmil Reyes maybe looking to retake our lead. Soderstrom got this high curveball, but maybe it was a little bit too high here as he got just underneath it. Hit that one pretty deeply, but just couldn't square it up enough, and it is hard to square up those high pitches. John Kenzie Noel crushed that baseball. We allowed a walk to the leadoff hitter there in the inning. You know, sometimes with the talented hitters, you don't mind walking them, but the risk is that's a potential RBI, and so Jose Ramirez will come across home plate alongside Noel, and Cleveland opens up a 2-run lead here in this ball game at home, trying to keep their season alive. Another ball that went over 440 feet. We've seen a couple of balls be absolutely crushed in this game. Peralta would rebound with a strikeout of Drury, and in the almost exact same spot, he's going to get a strikeout on Cox there as well. So not a great start to the inning. I like the rebound, but still we're starting to dig ourselves a bit of a hole here, and we've been skipping a lot of at-bats this episode, and that's because a lot of the at-bats are just like what you saw there. Swinging early on in the count. Felt like it was a good pitch to hit, but we're just not quite finding the gaps today. Our hitters aren't squaring up the ball as well as I know they can. Ian Happ, though, this time will find the gap. Guerrero trying to advance him. Instead, he's going to chop it right to third. Easy force out at second. Number through 5 innings. Haven't been able to get really any offense going. Just the solo homer is all we've been able to muster up here. Peralta, though, has Drury going around. That's not Drury, that's Stephen Kwan. What am I talking about? But has him going around that pitch to get out of the 5th. We have 3 more hits than the Guardians. They're just bringing their runners across, and we're not doing nearly as good of a job of it. We're not stringing together hits. We'll get a hit pretty much every inning, kind of like you're seeing from Luis Arias. We just can't ever follow it up. But can that change here in the 6th? Angeles, slider, hittable pitch. He hits it well, but once again, we just are coming up a little bit short on pretty much all of these hits. So many fly balls here through the first 6 innings. Just no momentum. Getting like one guy on base every single inning, it feels like, and then just leaving him out there. Jose Ramirez back up. Walked him the last time. He gets a big chunk of this ball, but it will stay in the park. I feel like Jose Ramirez has done that a couple times today. His game is honestly pretty similar to what we've seen from our entire roster, really. Nice diving play from Vladimir Guerrero is going to stop that baseball and end the sixth for us. Good effort there from our corner infielder. Soderstrom striking out there on a pretty hittable pitch. Just needed to time that up much better. Witt back up. He's brought across our only run, but this time he's going to strike out. And our offense, not at all what it looked like in the first game. And more defensive highlights here from our first baseman. Not typically the position you see making all these defensive plays, but he's the one making them for us here in Game 3. Ian Happ's going to go down swinging on the slider to get the first out of the 8th. Emmanuel Clase, this man is a very tough guy to hit, but this time Vladimir Guerrero's gonna do just that. He throws really hard. He's got some nasty stuff, but when he does miss over the middle, he is somebody that you can certainly take yard with all that velocity. 431 feet, another ball absolutely crushed. Vladdy's second home run of the postseason, and brings us back to just a one-run game. Confidence starting to build a little bit that maybe we could come back and get this series sweep. Just one run. You feel like you always can manufacture one run some way or another, but Boyce McDermott gonna go down looking at that ball low in the zone, but it was certainly the correct call. Luis Arias out into right field. That won't be caught. It's up against the wall, so he's got extra bases. And we're a base hit away from tying this game. Alex Angeles 0 for 2. Hasn't had much success in the playoffs, but for the second time today, he's going to get beamed. Third time the Cleveland Guardians have hit us in this game. There's some bad blood here that I'm just not aware of. From Arias. Has a chance for something big here going against Class A. Really felt like that was a missed opportunity the pitch before that. Next pitch, he chops it, and we waste 2 base runners once again. The story of this game, not taking advantage of getting guys on base. Now in the 9th, we've got 3 outs. Come back and tie this game or take the lead. It's not going to start with Tyler Soderstrom. Perhaps with Gleyber Torres, he instead's going to break his bat. This will be a close play, but it will be on time for the Guardians. Top of the order comes back up, but Bobby Witt pops up the high curveball, and the Guardians will avoid the sweep here. Just couldn't find the gaps on the swings that were good and didn't have a ton of good timing swings to begin with here. So not going to sweep the Guardians here today. Corbin Burns was a very tough pitcher to hit for sure. But we're going to hop right back into the action here for Game 4. Still on the road. Forgot to press record, and so there's a man on base. The only thing you missed was that Bobby Witt walked to lead off the game. Ian Happ up next. Got some good timing there, but couldn't get the ball to fall in play. And speaking of the ball not being in play, Vladimir Guerrero, for the second time this episode, has gone yard. This time it will not pop past 400 feet, but still a blast nonetheless. Going against Cal Quantrill today, and we've already matched our run total through 9 innings here through the top of the first. Guerrero just watching that one go into the stands. And after that bad offensive performance last game, I like to see us starting hot here. Gonna continue with Arias. 2 outs, but that's not gonna keep us from trying to bring across more than these 2 runs here in the first. Single there keeps this inning alive. Bringing up Alex Angeles. He's trying to break through a slump here. That will get past Ramirez over at third base, so 2 consecutive singles. Now we got a chance to bring across a third run from Arias. 2-0 Fastball kind of low in the zone, but he does lift it deep back, and it will leave the park. The second home run here of the first inning, and talked about last game being a theme of leaving runners on base. This time we're getting the runners on, and we're bringing them home as well. 5-run first inning, and we are not even done yet. Guerrero and Reyes, two of the best power hitters in the lineup, both coming through here to start this game. Just because the Guardians, got themselves a win at home doesn't mean that we're going to let them feel comfortable here that they're in this series. Soderstrom, perfect swing, and we've got another extra base hit. We are not giving Cal Quantrill, any slack here. He has had a tough time, with the control of his pitches, leaving a lot of very hittable pitches, and we are making him pay for it. And he's not even gonna last through one inning here. The entirety of our lineup's gonna all get to bat here in the first inning. Glaber, though, got some decent contact on it, but he will pop fly it out into the right field. So we'll settle for 5, settle, quote unquote. Glaber Torres, though, does make the play to start the game on the defensive side here, as that line out will be the first out of this game. Soderstrom takes this little tapper, throws it on over to first, and now we've got 2 down in the first, and then Trevor Rogers gets Ramirez swinging here. I know Trevor Rogers isn't our best pitcher based on just kind of the numbers, but I think he's my favorite pitcher to pitch with on this team. Bobby Witt looking to continue the momentum of the first inning, and he's going to do so to perfection here, as he will have the 3rd home run here in Game 4. The bats are a-poppin' here, and these home runs maybe not crushed quite as far as we saw the last game, but hey, a home run is a home run is a home run, and that extends our lead up further still. Now a 6-0 Las Vegas Athletics lead. Things are looking very, very different from just one game ago, and I played these games back to back, so it's really surprising to see that my ability to time up pitches changed so drastically between these 2 games, because every single at bat just felt like I knew what was coming. I mean, here's the counterpoint, right? That one was outside of the zone. I still swung at it. Decided to tag up with Ian Happ here. Needed to be a perfect throw for him to be tagged out, and we gambled and we got caught. It was quite the throw from center field, so credit where credit is due. Beautiful throw, and the Guardians get the double play. But just because we got the double play doesn't mean we're done with the inning. Oh no, no siree. Boyce McDermott's extra base hit just smacked that one straight into the outfield. Arias right back up to the pitcher there. That's getting through the infield as well, and the speed of Boyce McDermott will cross home, so 5 runners in the first, 2 runs in the second. There's really looking like nothing this offense can't do. Alex Angeles, though, will end the second for us. Trevor Rogers, he's going to allow the walk to Brandon Drury. Talked about him being kind of maybe my favorite pitcher to pitch with. I think it's just because he has a unique motion. Maybe it's because I'm a left-hander in real life and he's a lefty, but just his throwing motion and then just kind of the motion of the ball on all his pitches. I just really enjoy pitching with Trevor Rogers. He would end up being okay there after getting just beamed in the leg. And then we would end the second with a beautiful double play. Vladimir Guerrero, man, the defensive stalwart. Reyes gets the perfect, and it's caught. If this wasn't 7-0 in the third, there's nothing that annoys me more in this game than perfect getting out. But when you're leading 7-0 in the third, it is a lot less annoying, I will admit. Soderstrom with a little bit of a bloop single there. Brings up Gleyber Torres. That one ricochets off the glove at shortstop. And so Torres gets himself on base as well. As does Bobby Witt. And this time it's going to bring across that Soderstrom run. So we got a third straight inning where we're scoring here. Ian Happ going to look at that inside fastball. And then Guerrero here gonna fly out to end the third, but those 3 innings were all I needed. After that game, I played this one directly after, like I said. I just really needed to know that I could hit, and this game proved that I could. So we're not gonna do any more hitting here. Still want to pitch more with Trevor Rogers, though. And so far, so good here in the 4th. 2 strikeouts. Oh, sorry, we're still in the 3rd, bottom of the 3rd. And a 1-2-3 inning once again for Rogers. He is on his A game, and you gotta like our chances of wrapping this one up. Now in the 4th, we're gonna get a second out on the grounder. Bobby Witt with a nice throw there. We'll allow Jhonkensy Noel here to get on base. He's definitely, at least of their position players, been the MVP for Cleveland this series. I'd probably call Corbin Burns their MVP just because he's been the only thing able to stop our offense this entire series. But Jhonkensy Noel has been pretty good. I have to give him some credit. Rogers here gets a strikeout, gets a walk, 2 down, and a man on first, and gets that strikeout to end the 5th. His strong day continues. Because of his pitch count, I don't see him lasting here past the 6th, especially if that one was going yard. But the leaping grab made by Ian Happ, bravo, sir. That was a tough play to make, and he made it easily, keeping that shutout alive. And that's all I needed to see from this game. I was ready to simulate the last 3 innings, which is exactly what I did. We'd end up allowing 2 runs, so no shutout here, but double-digit runs, an 8-point victory, and we have won the divisional series against the Cleveland Guardians. Probably to no one's surprise after last episode. This offense had a hiccup there in Game 3, but they came back to play here in Game 4. Did the job, and pitching was awesome in this series as well. We never allowed more than 3 runs in a game. So this team is looking really strong as we head into the ALCS. We'll find out our opponent here momentarily. Player of the game is going to be Franmil Reyes with his 3-run homer there in the 1st. It was a nice hit. Sure, Rogers gets the wins, 6 2/3 innings pitched. He would be end up being the one allowing those 2 runs. Our opponent for the ALCS will be the Texas Rangers, an in-division foe. Very much so unlike the Guardians, a lot of their best players are position players, whereas their pitching rotation isn't nearly as good. So kind of the opposite of the Guardians for that. So maybe pitching will be a little bit more difficult here for us, but I do imagine our offensive success that we saw in the ALDS will continue in the conference series here, and we're playing for a chance to go to the World Series. We won this division. I think we got a good chance against the Rangers, but you never know with playoff baseball. That's all I've got for this episode. I'll be back soon with another, and I will see you then.